Hi, everyone. I'm Maggie. I'm going to be telling you about the developmental report that's coming up due here next month. So I'll first start on D12. We'll look at D12, and then we'll go over to the document itself and look that over. And if you have any questions, just let me know. You can text me or you can email me. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have. So let me share my screen here really quick. We are going to be looking at the homepage on D2L here. You can take a look here, go to materials content, and then go to course information, which is on the left-hand side. And on course information, you're going to be seeing a syllabus and schedule of course. Here's some library information for help with using the library, finding articles, etc. So take a look at that. Also, I have APA resources here for you. I've got lots of different resources, including from the library, and different videos here. So take a look at that too. I think it'll help you. And then assignments. This is where you're going to find the developmental report assignment. So I am going to give us a new share here, and we're going to take a look at the developmental report itself. And you can just download it as a Word doc. It'll look like this. You can save it or print it or whatever, whatever makes it easy for you. So let's take a look at this assignment here. You're going to imagine yourselves a developmental psychologist, and you need to research people at various stages of development. You'll observe and or interview three different people, and write an essay style report. You must include at least 3 peer-reviewed scholarly articles from the library databases and the textbook for a total of at least 4 sources. Let me tell you, your scholarly sources should come from the library databases, and you can look up, there's tons of research on all of these topics from developmental psychology. So you can look up, different topics, attachment, retirement and senior citizens, the theories of aging, just about any topic, you're going to find it in the library. So this is what is required for your assignment. A cover page, it's going to be a formal paper, so cover page, use APA style. And then you're going to interview and or observe 3 different people at 3 different stages of development. Observation will come in when you are working with infants. Of course, they can't talk, you can't interview them. So you're going to be looking, watching them, or you can talk to the parents too. That's no problem. But they need to be 3 different people at 3 different stages of development. So you might have a child who is 4 years old in early childhood. You might have a brother who is 16 in adolescence, and your mother who is, I don't know, 52, and she's in middle adulthood, okay, or your grandma who's in late adulthood. But you need to have 3 different people at 3 different stages of development. So make sure that those people are at 3 different stages of development. And I've posted them here on the next point. Infancy and toddlerhood is 1 stage, early childhood, middle childhood, adolescence, early adulthood, middle adulthood, and late adulthood. Rough ages, infancy and toddlerhood, birth to roughly 2 to 3 years old, early childhood, roughly 3 to about 6. Middle childhood is about 7 to about 12. Adolescent is about 13 until about 18, 19, 20. Early adulthood is about roughly age 20 until 30, until 40-ish, and then 35, 40-ish. And then middle adulthood is about 40 to 65, and late adulthood is 65 plus. Okay, roughly, those are the rough ages for them. Just make sure you have 3 different people at 3 different stages of development. And this allows you to take a look at actual living people. We talk about, people in class, we look at videos, we read about them, but here, this is a chance to actually do some observation and research into some actual living people. You're going to interview, yeah, and okay, so one question I get frequently is, what kind of questions should I ask? Well, depending on what stage of development the person is, the best thing to do is to go into your HDEV book and look under the stage of development for your person. So who do we have? We have your adolescent brother, who's what, 16? Go to chapter 11 and 12. And here we go. Adolescents, 11 and 12. And you can look and see what topics that you might be interested in. Puberty, that's a big topic. Changes in girls and boys, physical changes, nutrition, eating disorders, a big deal there. Substance abuse and substance use, cognitive development, formal operations in Piaget's theory. Let me see, what else do we have? Gender differences and cognitive abilities, moral development, adolescence in the workplace. There are just tons of different topics that you can leave. And that's only in physical and cognitive and social and emotional. There's of course the big, another big theme in adolescence is of course the identity, the idea of identity development. So identity achievement. So you can take a look at that. Self-esteem, relationship with parents and peers, romantic relationships in adolescence, sexual behavior in adolescence, sexual orientation, identity, suicide, juvenile delinquency. I mean, there's just, like I said, a ton of different topics that you could be talking about as it relates to adolescence. So look for each of the persons that you're going to interview or observe, look in the book for topics. I would say this is not a very long paper, maybe 3 or 4 topics that you'll want to discuss and do research on. Because when you have those 3 or 4 topics, that helps, the rest of your paper fall in line. So when you choose your topics from here, you'll have information on that topic from the book. You'll get information from the person that you interview, and then you'll have information from the library sources. So you'll put all those together to write the paper, okay? So this is not so much an assignment where you're going to, write about the interview like it's like a transcript. That's not, you're just going to use parts of the interview within your paper, okay? So describe the 3 stages of development, describe the behaviors you observe, the interview material, discuss the developmental themes apparent for each participant using key terms and concepts from the textbook and research. Okay, so themes, I already talked about a couple of themes. In adolescence, identity development is a big theme in adolescence. Puberty is a theme, peer relationships a theme. So you can find, these different themes for people. If you're doing your grandma, who might be 72 years old, maybe retirement is a theme. Maybe relationships with children and grown children and grandchildren might be a theme. Housing might be a theme. I mean, there's lots of different themes, just, different themes for each stage of development. And if you remember, we've talked about attachment when it comes to infants. That's another theme. So lots of different themes for all of these stages of development. So you'll discuss those, and then you're going to apply 2 psychological theories for each observation interview participant. So you're going to have 6 theories. Now let me give you a hint. Erickson's stages of development apply to every single stage, okay? You can find information about Erickson's number 1 in chapter 1 of HDEV. You can also find information about Erickson's in each of the stages of development under social and emotional development. So you can take a look there for Erickson. So there's one for Erickson's. Piaget usually applied to children. You can take a look at the theory for Piaget that relates. We've already talked about attachment. There's parenting style. There are theories on aging. There's theories about learning. There's all kinds of theories. You can find them in chapter 1 in HDev, and you can find them throughout each chapter. Sometimes they call them theories, they might call them models, they might call them perspectives, but you know, it's theories, okay? So look for those and apply 2 theories for each interview participant. So, you know, another hint here is to use, see how I have the bullet points for each one of these. You might even arrange your paper with headings using those, or for each interviewee, you might do the headings for them. So it's up to you how you want to do it. But make sure you include all this information here that's required. And then explain why these theories fit with your participant, and use specific examples from observation, interview. You can use examples too from research. Analysis, you know, and analyze the observations, interviews were consistent or not consistent with theory and research, why or why not. Compare and contrast the participants and their stages of development. What's different, what's the same. The analysis section is really a chance for you to think about these stages of development, these interviews you did, the research you did, the theories, and kind of put it all together, you know, give it some meaning. And then you'll have the conclusion. You'll summarize the important ideas you got from your observations and interviews, research, and writing the report. So kind of like a reflection, and describe how you're going to use that information in the future as it relates to your personal and professional life. You know, all this information, knowledge that you've gained, how are you going to use it? So write about that in the conclusion. Then you'll include a reference list. Of course, you have your book, the HDev book, and you'll have your scholarly research articles. Okay, those will all be on your reference list. Okay, so that is the main part of the assignment here. I don't think anyone will have any problems with this. And there's some more guidelines here, about 4 to 6 pages, double spaced. I gave you a large parameter. Some students like to write more, others like to write less, so it's up to you. Just make sure you cover all of the criteria here. And then use Times New Roman 12-point font, although with the 7th edition of APA, they're not quite as finicky about that, but just so it's 12-point font. And then use, of course, just standard American English. And then written in APA formatting and citation style. If you need assistance with writing, putting together paper, you're having a hard time getting started, visit the Center for Academic Success in room 122. They have tutors there to help you. Okay, and then submit your assignments. Just go ahead and, you know, put it in a Word doc, save it somewhere, and then submit it to the assignment folder, the developmental report assignment folder. You can find that either across the top in D12 assignments, or you can find that too in I think probably a couple of the units that are on the left. So many different places where you can submit it, and submit your paper in either a Word doc or a PDF file, either one. Other ones I can't read, so, or the D2L doesn't take. So use the Word doc or a PDF file. So with that here, like I said, all these instructions I just looked at are all on D12. So you should be able to print those off and take a look at them. Use this video to get you going, and make sure you take a look at D2L under materials, content, course information for library APA information, and also, of course, to find the instructions themselves. So if you have any questions, please feel free to email me or text message. I don't mind text messages. Just go ahead and tell me your name and what course, so I kind of have some context when I am thinking about your question and getting ready to answer it. Okay, good. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the day. You still have a couple of weeks to do this assignment. but I want to give you a heads up so you can get working on it. So thanks a lot and see you later.